probably a little bit early celebration. But I did want to start off this episode talking about, well, something I'm very passionate about, and that is marijuana. A lot of you are aware there is currently a bill that House has voted to decriminalize cannabis. So it still has to pass Senate, so it's not completely... You all right there, buddy? It's not completely in the works, but it is making headway, and I only have a few concerns about it. First off, I want to say that I have not read this full bill, so of course I'm concerned because any government bill that is incredibly long is not just about one thing. We all know that. I will note that this is like 50 pages long, this bill is, so I'm not going to read the whole thing on this podcast, but this is kind of like a couple paragraphs that sum it up, which I don't like to do because it does go over the finer details that are important. But basically, this is what it's called. This is what it's about. The Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, which passed 220 to 204, is unlikely to secure 60 votes to pass the Senate, despite the backing of the majority leader. Oh, this is New York Times. Senator Chuck Schumer of New York. But supporters of marijuana decriminalization, even some Republicans who voted against the Democratic legislation, said on Friday that the vote was a necessary step towards building consensus on something that could become law. The Democrats' bill would remove marijuana from the federal government's list of controlled substances, impose an 8% tax on cannabis products, ouch, allow some convictions on cannabis charges to be expunged, and press for sentencing reviews at the federal and state levels. It would also make small business administration loans and services available to cannabis businesses while setting standards for them. Now that is something I am personally interested in right there. Mostly because it is my end-all goal as like a business entrepreneur, not only just an entertainer, but to start up my own type of dispensary.
Dude Life Dispensary.
Could be. I don't know. I was going to call it the Sticky Icky Lounge, and it was going to be a smoke lounge.
Sponsored by Dude Life.
Sponsored by Dude Life. But
we'll get you laid.
With government loans, that's how most people start up their businesses in America. And currently, only really rich people are able to start dispensaries, and it's a little bit unfair to like the average person.
Why is that, do you think?
Well, because you can't get a loan.
You have to have starting cash, essentially.
Yeah, you
right?
have to have money to start.
And not just like electric money, like physical.
Yeah, you
cash.
have to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because not only does it cost in some states up to $100,000 just to apply for a license.
Holy fuck.
That's just those costs alone. Then you got to worry about actually like the building, the dispensary itself, the product, all of that stuff. And so, yeah, for someone like me, someone like you, someone like anybody out there with hopes and dreams of starting their own business and starting from the ground up, this would be huge. Obviously, there has to be more details released for us to like give a definite like this bill is a good thing or not, because I'm sure with a 50-page long bill, there's probably some parts in there that were snuck in and are kind of not cool and a little underhanded. But that all being said,
we're making headway.
I am really hoping that something starts because honestly, I want to move back home. I want to come back here to Kansas. But
vote to legalize weed to get Grant back home.
There we go.
Get Grant back to Kansas.
And I don't have any like felonies or nothing. I just don't want to get them. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to take away my opportunity to be able to become the person that I want to be. So
yeah.
I'm choosing to move to a state where it is legal because weed is something that helps me, and it's a little bit more healthy for me than alcohol to help calm my anxiety.
Yeah.
And, well, I do jujitsu, so there's a lot of pain there, too. And, like, being into fitness and into health, like, microdosing is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Because it helps with not only inflammation and pain, but it helps bring you down a little bit after the exercise as well.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's like you can also just do CBD. That's not psychoactive.
Right.
It also helps with inflammation.
There's something strong with microdosing.
There is.
And I feel like that's with anything.
Yeah.
Except like pharmaceuticals.
Well, it's a kind of like when you it's kind of like when you like you're jerking off and then like you just tease it a little bit and then you put it away.
Yeah.
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 It's just like that,
Yeah.
actually.
It's like you don't even need to finish. Like
And we're done being professional. That's it.
it feels, it feels just like just as good. But you're just like, I mean, I could stop right now and
Yeah, you're just giving it a little tease, you
Yeah.
know, and then you're cutting it off.
giving the turtle a little piece of lettuce.
And that's called discipline, folks.
Yeah.
That's not something everybody has.
Yeah.
But it is something everybody has the capability to capitalize upon.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little stoned.
If you don't half jack, then you're not strong. Like you got to have the inner
We
strength. to be
only
able to
half jack at Dude Life TV. We only half jack. None of us ever finish. It makes us stronger as men.
Immune systems,
We start building muscle faster.
fiber.
Yeah, this is all scientifically correct according to like what I think.
Inflammation.
Inflammation and pain. Yeah, dude, it's really good. You should half jack. Health
Half
benefits. Dude Life TV. You heard it here. But we got to get into some stuff today, don't we?
So if you don't know already, the podcast is available on Spotify. And we have new t-shirts available on our merch store. Go check them out. Buy one. Buy one for your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever you roll with. So
There's a really cute quality that I think everybody should buy.
everybody buy the quality.
Yeah, by the quality, it says koala in Japanese on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it says. Should not
You
look
should
into
buy
it.
I mean, how would you
This-
look into that? How would you type those letters?
Well, I don't know, James.
Yeah.
I don't know how to translate things, but if you're,
Our viewers just have to trust us.
Trust us.
that's why you got to trust us, and that's what it says, and just don't hang around Asian people. Not that they're just so they can't translate it for you. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Buy the shirt, go to a sushi bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
But yeah, also, we are brought to you by our partners over at Buzzsprout. They help us get launched. They help us look at analytics on how our videos go. And they help us get onto multiple different platforms at once. That's how we're able to be on YouTube and Spotify at the same time. Because, yeah, as we've kind of seen in the past year, they have a little bit different viewpoints on, like, what content is good and what's like bad and what isn't. And so yeah, we want to be everywhere because in case we're not good for some platforms, we're better for others,
Right.
and it helps secure our Dude Life empire, you know.
Security.
That's pretty much why we do Buzzsprout, and it shows us the analytics, who comes in, who views, how long,
Yeah.
when they
so
fuck off, who knows.
If you want to start your own podcast, hit up Buzzsprout.
Yeah,
Use our link below. You get it even cheaper.
and you don't have to be like us. You could be
No.
adjacent to us. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Or diagonal or
Yeah.
cubed.
You could read a fucking book. Who knows?
Yeah, you can be in the upside down, dude.
Yeah.
You don't care.
It's you do your thing, and it could be good.
So, a lot of the topics we get into on here in Do Life,
Yeah.
I don't know if I brought this up to you or not, but I wrote it down. I found we have a theme.
We do?
Yeah. It's still broad,
Yeah.
but we're starting to narrow it down. So
we do talk about broads a lot. Yeah. We gotta
I got a
hammer down.
topic.
Oh, you got a topic?
I did my first superset the other day.
Oh shit.
Routine of supersets.
How'd you like it?
So usually my upper body routine takes about a grand total of hour and a half. That means driving time there and back, stretching, hour and a half, which is a good solid block, I think.
Yeah.
Lower body days, it's anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour because it's less exercises, bigger muscle groups.
Yeah.
So we were in a hurry, and I was like, well, I saw this routine on Instagram in the suggested post of a superset. It said no time, no problem workout. Well, I didn't have a lot of time, so I was like, okay, no problem.
Right.
It was a 4 exercise routine of supersets. So with people that don't know what supersets is, I'll try to explain it. Grant might correct me, but essentially it's doing one workout or 2 workouts as one exercise. Example, I did bench press, and then I went straight to pull-ups.
Yeah.
2 separate muscle groups working entirely different things, so they're not battling each other. The only downside with doing a superset, so far I've found, is
Fatigue.
Yeah. It'll wear up on you. But I found something really great about doing this superset. I got my entire upper body workout done in 1 hour. I saved 30 minutes. So this includes stretching and warm-up.
And driving?
And driving. 1
Nice.
hour for an upper body. And I'll be honest with you, toward the very last reps, very last set,
Yeah.
my whole body is fucking hurting.
Yes.
I'm thinking, this is not good. I'm doing something wrong. But you just have to push through. Don't let fatigue fuck with you. Give as much as you can, and make sure you don't fuck with your form.
Yeah.
Stay strong and stretch. The next day, I didn't feel a fucking thing.
Interesting.
I felt great. No soreness, nothing.
Well, that
And I
also
worked my
means
ass off.
Yeah. That also means you've been adapting to your workouts as well. So, like a little bit, like it's not going to be super professional, but a little more of a professional way to put it in like a shorter definition is
Shoot me with it.
supersets are typically complementary muscle groups back to back, and it's hypertrophy based. So that's important to say. It's usually hypertrophy or endurance based, not strength based, because with lower reps and higher weight it becomes a little bit more dangerous, and fatigue is a thing in supersets. So you do need rest periods with super heavy weight.
I took a little weight off.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I did the same weights as I've been doing for my regular hypertrophy.
Right, and
Which is
like
crazy.
hypertrophy wise, just for those who just aren't up to date on that definition, is typically between 8 to 12 reps at about 70% load. Then you get into more of an endurance base. That's when you get up to like that 15, 16 rep range and above. That's where your like workout classes are going to be. So they're not quite supersets per se, but a superset is kind of like the shortened version of a workout class.
Yeah.
More weight, less reps, and still little to no rest period.
Yeah.
Which
I was only taking a minute, my normal rest period, but twice as much within the block, and I was like,
yeah. And then the cool thing about supersets is like the more you get used to this, you're going to be able to fit in a little bit more into those workouts too. And I highly recommend keeping up the intensity and going with like something high intensity, like either like a sled push, sled pull, or some kind of HIIT training. And
Right.
that usually complements it pretty well.
okay.
And that'll get you in that explosive tip-top condition.
Yeah, because I'm reaching, I think we're at 8 or 9 weeks, almost 10 weeks into hypertrophy. So I'm about to get into my strength training here
Yeah,
soon.
I was gonna say you're about there.
Because
Yeah.
I've been doing progressive overload. I've been able to increase every session, whether it be weight or reps. We're
That's good.
always, every session, something's getting up higher.
Sweet.
But it's starting, I don't know if I wouldn't even say it's plateauing. I could keep going in hypertrophy, honestly, but I've made so much improvement in the weight, in the numbers, and the reps in hypertrophy. I think I'm ready for some more explosive shit.
Well, a typical hypertrophy program is going to be about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So you're ready. You are ready for a strength training program.
Yeah. I've been waiting for
which
it.
is going to be awesome, because now you get to kind of slow down with the workouts, space them out a bit in between sets. So that's very important.
Yeah.
So when you're getting into these high rep sets, you're going to want to keep it about 3 to 5 minute rest periods. 5 minutes for like 1 rep maxes.
Yeah.
3 rep maxes.
We're
you're
going to,
going like
the
3
last time I
minutes.
did strength training, I did it like 6 to 8 rep range, which
Yeah.
was a little much. I'm going to try to stick to 4 sets of 5
Yeah.
of everything.
4 sets of 5 is good.
Would I be okay with doing 3 sets of 5?
3 sets of 5 would probably be good at first for the first couple weeks. Then go into 4 sets, and then you're
Just, like, slowly
still
add another rep onto that last set.
yeah, and then you're still as like think about like 6 to 8 weeks as your like macro cycle, right? You want each week to be its own like little microcycle. So you want each week not only to be consistent, but somehow a little bit different. So as the strength training program goes on, you're kind of going up in sets and down in reps. So eventually in your last week, you're going to be either doing like basically 2s or 1s.
Really?
Yeah.
I will need some help then because I don't know the best way to do strength training.
And that, by the way, I know there's a lot of programs out there, and there's a lot of variability, and there's a lot of awesome theories into like why things are different. And I'm by no means like still a strength coach, so I'm a little out of date. And I do realize there are other programs that work. This is just the kind of basic intro to strength training.
Should I keep progressive overload in mind when I'm doing this as well? Excluding rep count?
For like accessories, sure, but not necessarily for... Wait, no, okay, yeah, sorry.
What I'm saying
sorry,
is,
I get what you mean.
Should I keep adding weight?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, each week. Well, particularly, yeah, because you're going to be going down in reps.
Okay.
So you're wanting to add... every time you go down in reps, you're going to want to add weight.
Okay.
And then percentages or something to look at. I don't know those off the top of my head.
So I'll just need to look into
It's
some
about
strength training.
3 to 5% increase
Okay.
you want about every week or two.
Okay. Because hypertrophy training, it was pretty easy for me. But
Yeah.
now we're getting in... this next block is going to be me pushing my body as hard as I possibly can.
Sure.
Get the max amount of numbers in the 6-8 weeks.
Just
and then
also keep in mind when you're pushing, you got to have balance. So keep up those mobility routines, keep everything mobile, and stay loose, because the worst thing that can happen to you right now is muscle imbalance is catching up with you and becoming a little bit too tight,
Yeah.
and then injuring yourself.
Yeah, my issue recently, I went to the chiropractor. Same thing that happened last time. My front muscles are pulling my shoulders forward.
Yeah.
And I was abusing the rear lat exercise that I also was doing wrong for the longest time.
Okay.
And so I started putting those in my routine,
Mm-hmm.
and it's helping. I also went to the chiropractor. They told me that I needed to take some magnesium, help me loosen up my muscles. God, my fucking throat. Hold on.
Yeah. Took that dab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Handling it pretty well, honestly.
Yeah. Well, it was a microdose dab.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Back to it. Yeah.
But yeah, I went to the chiropractor. Yeah, my front muscles are pulling on the front, so I'm doing those rear lat exercises, and it's starting to equal itself out. I got electric acupuncture done yesterday.
Oh, nice. I love that.
Love that.
Yeah.
It almost fixes me instantly. Not instantly, but within a day, I'm cured. Now, this time around, not so much, because it's been really bad for weeks, but
We'll say one thing, just make sure to keep the muscles in between like your scapula healthy as well, because that's a lot of that postural, like those are all your postural muscles, like your rhomboids and your lower trapezius, because that's going to help keep those shoulders back. Because there is one thing about the lats, they are an internal rotator of the shoulder, just like the pecs. So being too strong in the pecs and in the lats is going to give you that, I forgot what do they call it, ILS or something, like
fucking bro look.
Yeah, the bro look, where your shoulders are just kind of like here, and not necessarily all out here, but like kind of, yeah.
I mean, I look like that.
Well, we all somewhat do.
Yeah, I mean-
we all have a little internal rotation.
Right.
But
So last thing about
Yeah.
the superset, I
Yeah.
also thought that it would be good for my muscles because it'll shock them. It'll be like,
Yeah.
I've never done this shit before. I gotta do different things.
it's going to keep your endurance up too.
Good.
Good. So like
I was sweating balls, dude.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So like when doing like a strength training program, like the areas of hypertrophy you'll want to do are definitely like your lat raises. So like lateral raises, not like the lat. So deltoids you're going to want to keep healthy, and obviously just for show, the triceps and biceps. So keeping those sets of 12 there, just to finish out the workout. You're gonna be sore as fuck.
Oh,
And
it's awful.
another thing
I hate
is
doing biceps and triceps after strength training.
But
It's
that's
so bad.
that's the thing, is you'll also need to give yourself 2 to 3 days to recover in between muscle groups. So
Oh.
yeah,
So I'll be able to work out less and be able to do other shit.
Yes and no. So you're gonna still want to work out pretty much every day.
Right.
Like I said, like coming here.
It'll
Like
be
some days,
upper,
like
lower, and then probably like a
yeah, like
quiet
a recovery
cardio
day, like
quiet cardio, yoga, mobility day.
mobility. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you want to do.
'Cause
'Cause
I
you want to
even-
keep your conditioning up.
Right.
You want to keep yourself strong, and you want to stay healthy.
Well, also with my job, I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be this summer. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm a.
You're gonna shred up, dude. If you see Dylan sent me a picture of himself the other day. He's like,
Is he?
he's shredded as fuck right now. He's looking huge, dude.
I'm just not committed enough to it yet. To
I-
just go no body fat.
I'm currently, not that committed to
not
it.
that committed.
I'm
This summer I
currently
won't have a choice because I'll be sweating my ass off every day.
Yeah, I'm currently
Oh.
focused on jujitsu and just keeping my joints healthy at the moment.
Yeah, you've been through a lot of fucking injuries lately.
That's true. I still got a broken toe. We're talking like this thing's been broken now and if you've been listening this long, for a while.
Dude, I've got
Um,
arthritis in my big toe.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
have that. Yeah,
It
from
sucks.
this.
I got to get cortisone shots yearly injected into the joint.
But
It
I
sucks.
will have to have that. So once I get on insurance, I'm going to go back to the doctor and be like, all right, what do we need to do about this? Like,
Yeah.
does it need surgery? Does it need corrective action? Whatever.
Right.
In the meantime, I'm keeping it wrapped. I'm rolling light and I'm just doing drills. And
Dude, I got
but it
another
does
comment.
suck because I'm on my feet all day at work, going
Yeah.
up and down stairs and shit.
So another workout related thing. This will just be a fucking gym bro podcast.
Sure.
I wasn't doing my calf raises right. I wasn't doing the full motion.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I don't have a proper machine.
No.
So when I do standing calf raises, I was doing my calf raises flat ground, so I wasn't getting that downward stretch.
Need that
So,
downward stretch.
Remember a few weekends ago when I was telling you about my fucking my back right hip here is fucking
Yeah.
hurting like a motherfucker. So I did a few days of mobility training, and then, what was I just saying?
Calf stretch deep.
Yeah, so then I started doing the calf stretch, the calf workout proper, and it's ever since my fucking legs have been loose, a lot more loose now.
Yeah.
So I've been putting it up on a block like 4 inches so I can get that full range of motion.
Yes. One thing I used to do before I went and like ran for miles was I would park in the parking lot and then use that parking lot like bump,
Yeah.
and I would balance on it, go really slow at first because you're gonna lose balance, and basically you're just on the balls of your feet doing very slow calf raises. I would do about 20 of them before the run. 20
Oh,
of them after,
very good.
and my calves would not be that sore afterwards.
Good.
Because where I run, it's either hills
Yeah.
or I'm not running.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not
I don't like running on a flat like concrete surface.
A lot
I'm not a
of people
fan
don't
of it.
understand warm up and stretching is a fucking huge factor.
Absolutely. And when it comes to like healthy joints, like you have to do it.
Yeah.
Practice when you're doing warm-ups, when you're doing lunges, go knees over the toe. Don't slam into the lunge, ease into it. Get that full mobility.
I've always heard you're not supposed to go knee over the toe
Yes.
for the
And that-
longest time.
Yes.
That was what people said.
That is because that was pretty much a
AJ?
not based on science.
Look up how to do a proper lunge,
Yeah.
so we can get a visual.
Yeah, so that things have evolved in the past 20 years. The problem is high schools do not get updates
See,
like,
like,
the fitness community does.
thought it looked like this.
No.
it was like perfect 90-degree both
That is
legs.
actually what you don't want.
And I've been doing them like that my whole time, my
Yep.
whole life.
Everybody has.
See, even the internet's telling you to do it like that a little
Yes, exactly.
bit. See, it's
So the reason they are doing that is because misinformation is very highly spread right now. When you do a full lunge and you go knees over toes, you're actually helping strengthen your knee joints and your ankle joints. It's going to feel odd at first. Yeah. Yeah, you just got to keep your heels on the ground.
Oh, what about my back heel?
Your back heel, you don't need to worry about that. Yeah, balls of the feet on the back leg.
Oh, that feels a lot better though.
Yeah. No, it does, because it is better. Because you're actually strengthening like more of your leg. Yeah, you're actually strengthening the joints when you do that and the ligaments around there.
Because I was doing Bulgarian split squats and regular split squats
Yeah.
like this. I can't. They're so fucking hard.
Yeah.
But doing them like that, it's easier.
Yeah, now I will say to people, if you're going to switch up your form to going knees over toes, go down and wait.
Yes. I had to take weight completely off Bulgarian split squat because I
Go
just...
down and wait, or you will actually injure yourself because the weight you're probably doing lunges and squats at when you're not going knees over toes is is going to destroy your knee at first.
Right.
But
So,
yeah, so basically like that guy's doing it, right?
okay. Heel on the ground.
You
Push
just
it
don't
forward.
want your knee on the ground.
Yeah, the other
yeah.
knee.
Yeah, you don't want your knee on the ground.
Yeah.
His like back leg, his knees on the ground.
That takes away from the workout.
Well, it's impact, and you kind of don't want impact on
Yeah.
your patella.
You want to
It's-
control that motion.
Yeah, because if you do like 1,000 fucking lunges in a row and your knees hitting the ground every time, your knees are going to be destroyed the next day.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with squats too. It's the same thing. And now when I say knees over toes, you're still keeping your heel on the ground. You're still keeping your toes embedded into the floor. Your balance needs to be directly into the middle of your foot. Something like people think is like, oh, so I need to go knees over toes. No, if your range of motion isn't there, work
Don't
on
do
your
it.
range of motion before you go squat knees over toes, because then you're just, once again, you're going to fuck yourself up.
What's your opinion on the, like...
When you squat, you should be going directly up and down. Width it depends on the person and their hips. So if you've got very narrow hips, your squat's going to be a little more narrow. But it also depends on like your hip to shoulder ratio. Like if
So the squats, I used to learn, sorry for interrupting.
yeah.
But Coach King at DeSoto, he'd always tell us to do squats, don't let the knees go over the toes.
yeah.
Like, knees out, butt back. And
No.
that, like, because what I just did over here was there's a straight hip, a little bit wider than hip, not worrying about my knees going over the toes, just worrying
Right.
about going straight up and down like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And that feels so much better. Like,
Yes. So
why was he saying knees out, butt back? I mean, I get butt
here's,
back is
yeah,
right.
No. Here's why. And this is why knees
Getting
over
excited.
toes became very popular as well. Knees over toes became very popular is because, well, when you're teaching someone a squat, they tend to do it about as wrong as you can. And a lot of people will let their knees go inwards towards each other.
Oh.
And they let their knees go inwards and forward a bunch. Now, this is a lack of gluteus medius development, which is the outside butt muscle. This is what makes hips wide on like the hourglass figure. That's typically your gluteus medius. And so to strengthen the gluteus medius is really good because
funny
that's
name.
going to keep your knees from tracking inwards as much. Now, that being said, your adductors need to be strong as well, which are the muscles on the inside of your thigh, which pull your knee inwards. There needs to be balance. Balance is very important
Balance
in
is
weightlifting.
key. Yeah.
So back to Coach King and what he was saying. That is a general direction to give high school students, because most high school students, I wish I could fucking demonstrate this on camera, but when they squat, it's like a sissy squat. Their knees go inwards, and their knees go over their toes, and they're just trying to get as deep as they can.
Yeah, low.
And they're going to destroy the knees. So
Yeah.
it's a general direction for someone not to go knees over toes because people tend to overdo it. So another thing people started doing then was, okay, that means I have to put all my weight on my heel, which is also just
Wrong.
as bad.
Right.
Because we're talking about balance here. Is one direction too far, the other direction's too far.
Yeah.
So you need to meet in the middle, right over the ankle joint, how you're like supposed to do it. Your ankle just wants to move that way. And yeah, you want your feet to be right first, then your ankles to be strong to where you're balanced, you can actually stabilize yourself.
Okay.
And then generally, wherever your toes are pointing, that's where your knees are pointing. When you're
Gotcha.
squatting, generally you want to be relatively straight,
Yeah.
if not just slightly outwards. You don't want to be here. That's just as bad as doing this.
Ooh. See, I did those last week because I thought I'll do a wide angled squat, I'll get and work my butt muscles.
Well, and yes, you will get a little bit more of a stretch on your gluteus maximus by
Because
doing
I
that.
need to do some
And-
work on my actual
Yeah.
ass muscle. So how would I go about doing that? I can do wide
Okay.
sumo deadlifts if I wanted to.
Before we get into this, I do want to finish up on
All right,
squat
my bad,
though.
my bad.
So with squat, yeah, you want your knees to track your toes because your joints, believe it or not, they kind of stack up on top of each other and they point the same direction.
Yeah.
So if your ankle is pointing out here and your knees are pointing in here,
Ooh.
your joints are stacked wrong.
There's
Same
some
thing if you're
stress.
here and then you point your knees out, right?
Right.
You're still stressing that knee if your knee's going way out here, outside of the line. And yeah, that's pretty much
Since
Yeah.
we're still on squat.
okay.
What does front squat work aside from back squat?
Um,
And then like super deep back squat. Like what the fuck is the difference there?
Okay, so front squat is going to be a lot more abdominal pressure.
Okay.
So it helps build a trunk better. And in my opinion, well, yeah, it's your trunk is all of
Really?
your core. Yeah, that's
I
called
need
your
to do
trunk.
some of them then.
Your trunk is just everything on your torso. That
Yeah.
is your trunk.
'Cause I haven't done front squats really at all since I
yeah.
started.
So you'll notice when you do front squats, you
yeah.
fight your posture a lot because
Yeah.
now your weight's in front.
Yeah.
So you have to stay up more, and that engages your core a lot more. And when you go down, you'll notice it's really hard to not go knees over toes in a front squat. But it's also very important to know that just like the back squat, just like any kind of squat I'm doing, I want my weight to be centered in the middle of my feet.
Balance.
So, with front squats, and you see this in the Olympics, you see people when they do like the clean and jerk, they're landing in a front squat, right? Their knees are over their toes, dudes. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, their knees are over their toes. It's
Shocker.
because when you go into a full, like deep front squat, that's
I mean, look
where
at it
you were
from the
balanced.
side.
Yeah,
Your
when you-
ankle lines up with your hip, which
Yeah.
lines up with your spine.
exactly.
Like it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I realize I need to brush up on my personal training books, but I'm
Man,
not certified.
That's what we got this podcast for. I keep you entertained.
Yeah.
Keep you on your toes. So let's get on to the butt muscle. How do I?
Yes.
I gotta strengthen my ass.
Yeah. Yeah, we all do, in fact. We use it every day.
Believe it or
so
not.
basically, yeah, the gluteus maximus is
Hey, girl,
responsible for
you shit with that ass.
extension of the hip.
Yeah,
So
which is always important.
any exercise that extends the hip's a good one, really. But there are some particularly good ones.
Okay. Shoot me with 'em.
Lunges, for one, are really good.
What about?
I'm gonna address the
split squat
split squat.
because it's basically a lunge.
Yeah,
Okay.
split squat's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it depends on which version you're going with, but yes, some are more geared towards like
I do
like suiting.
Bulgarian, and then I just do the barbell,
barbell.
one leg,
Yeah.
and then the other.
Yeah,
leg.
those are good. You just got to be careful with them.
They hurt so bad.
Yeah, they burn, and you just got to make sure you're doing like
Yeah.
a low enough weight to where you can get a quality rep.
I gotta get used to them. I think that's
And
my thing.
Deadlift. I'm addressing the elephant in the room, right? We all know deadlift is amazing
love
for the glutes.
deadlift.
Because if you're doing deadlift right, if you set it up correctly, you're engaging upper back and your trunk and your glutes and hamstrings.
Okay.
And it all starts with your toes.
Yeah.
When you're going for that initial deadlift, you want to cue like your big toe is pushing into the ground and you are separating that bar from the ground. You're wedging
Yeah.
it. You're wedging yourself in between
I
it.
feel that.
And when
yeah.
you look at it from the side, like again, the wedge, that triangle is the distance from your glute and the bar. So all you're doing is getting your glutes under the bar,
Yeah.
but you're just going straight up.
Yeah.
You're just wedging it. So it's a pull exercise.
So what's your opinion on stance on deadlift? Because I've seen people, like I said, do the sumo stance, and then I've seen people do the narrow stance.
Once again, depends on the person, depends on like your goal.
Would the sumo be better for my ass?
Yeah, it'll get a better stretch on your
Okay.
glutes for sure. Yeah, and
I've been
then
going
in
like
straight
halfway,
leg,
midway.
Yeah, and with narrow stance, you're gonna get more of like a well-rounded hamstring and glute
Okay.
pull. And once again, depends on what you're focusing on too. Because in an exercise, and really any exercise you're doing, your focus really matters a lot, because if you're not thinking about squeezing that muscle,
Yeah.
then it's not going to activate the way you want it to.
I got a switch flipped on me about a week ago doing bench.
Yeah.
I think I already told this story, but I was sitting there. I was like rep 6 into 7. All of a sudden, I wasn't struggling. The muscles were taking over. They were engaging. The mind-muscle connection just hit right in. I was like, holy fuck, dude.
Yes.
Like, I'm using just the muscles I need only to do that exercise, and it felt great.
Now there's another exercise I want to go over. And it's my favorite glute exercise.
I do a lot of bands for
now.
glutes, too.
Also another thing you can do is hip thrusts. Hip
Yeah,
thrusts
I
are
got
okay.
those.
I think they're just boring.
They are so boring. I
So-
like doing the band exercise.
They're fine, but
moving the leg back.
yeah. But I really like the single leg Romanian deadlifts,
What's that?
where you have your legs straight behind you and you bend over,
Oh,
because that helps
yeah.
fix imbalances.
I haven't done those in so long.
They're very important. Do them. And kettlebell swings.
It's this thing, right?
Yeah, it's that.
Oh, I missed those.
Yeah, you just really have to focus not only on the leg that is anchored into the ground, but the leg that's behind you. You're squeezing that glute in that leg to keep that leg in line with your body and your spine. So you're not just, this is what I like about the exercise, you're not just using one hip, like one side of your hip in this exercise. Both are doing something. One is stabilizing you and moving you through the motion, while the other one is going through an isometric exercise and stabilizing the leg in a straight position to where your spine isn't
I've
compromised.
got another great question when you're done.
And then I want to get into my favorite exercise,
Okay.
kettlebell swings.
Okay.
Kettlebell swings, I like them because if you've done deadlifts, they kind of come naturally.
Are there different variants of the kettlebell?
There's so many different variants, but I like the classic two-handed kettlebell
between
swing.
the leg, kind of.
Yeah, and the reason I like it is because it not only helps build muscle, like through hypertrophy, but it also helps build explosive power.
I bet you it helps mobility too.
And it does help mobility, as long as you, once again, don't compromise the spine,
Your controlled
keep
motion.
your core activated, all that shit.
Yeah.
But
Never use centrifugal force or momentum for anything. You always want to control.
with kettlebell
Except-
swings, you want to try to get momentum on the way up, but yeah, you
Explosion,
control
but-
you control on the way down.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, there is quite a bit of momentum. Actually, that's why I like that exercise, is because it's one of the few exercises that's okay to use momentum.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, we all like swinging things.
Yeah, I like swinging things.
And
I like swinging my dick around.
I like getting all of that like pent up energy out. So
Yeah.
I do like kettlebell swings, and they also help once again with martial arts, because you need a lot of explosive power. So they help you kind of explode up off the mat. They help you with
the trunk, you would call it.
they help you with sweeps. They help you with shrimping away from people. It's a very, very good exercise to add to your program.
Okay. So my other question about when we were talking about, doing the one-legged deadlift,
Yeah.
and you're not just working one hip, you're working both sides. That's where my question lies. So whenever I was doing, let's say, like a Bulgarian split squat or any split squat for that matter, I'm only focusing on that one leg. And another thing, is it a good idea to do one leg and then next leg directly after? Because I feel like fatigue starts to get in during that second leg.
So yeah, the good question.
Because I'm
there.
doing at least 10 reps
So
a leg.
here's some advice on that one. Once again, with these are what I would call accessory exercises most of the time, unless the whole workout's based off of accessories, then it's a circuit, right?
That's another thing I need to figure out with my routine. Is what's what.
But with an exercise like that, especially if you're already doing like a strength training program and this is an accessory, you don't have to do that many reps.
Okay.
Yeah, you do not. It's much better to do 6 very controlled reps or 8 than 10 where like towards the end you're getting
fucking,
shaky and your ankles are destabilizing. Because once your joints start to compromise, you're going to want to call it.
Yeah, and that's what would
Yeah.
happen. I'm hurting myself trying to get my reps done.
Yeah. So worry less about the reps and more about the controlled movement.
Because it'll come. It'll
Yeah,
get there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Technique first.
My other thing is you call them accessory exercises.
Yeah.
I've been treating all my exercises as main exercises. So example, I'd go in upper body day, I would do my bench, my incline, all this shit, all the big workouts.
Yeah.
And now that I'm looking at it, there are some accessories that I could skip. Like I don't need to do shoulder shrugs every fucking time.
No.
Yeah.
Well, particularly if you're doing deadlift, if you're doing exercises where you're holding weight, your traps are going to build naturally.
Right.
Yeah, your traps, like, I will be 100% honest with you guys. I rarely work my upper traps, ever.
Really?
The only time I ever work my upper traps is if they're like a secondary muscle in a neck exercise.
Okay.
Now, I don't go to the gym and do neck day. That's
Yeah.
not what I'm saying. I'm saying in my mobility days and before jiu-jitsu, I will put a band on my door frame, put it around my fucking head, and do some neck exercises because we're choking each other out for an hour.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to get into specification too.
Right.
So this is where accessories become important.
I'm going to slide a question in there.
Okay, cool.
And when do you know that you can skip or you should add an accessory?
Yes.
Because I
So
do them all.
That
I
actually
do everything.
goes with my point.
And should I do everything if I can do everything?
No. So
See, that's why I think I'm overworking myself.
yeah. So this is everyone. Everyone's doing this. Everybody's going to the gym generally just to get in shape, just to get bigger, just to get stronger, and that's fine.
A general just over well-being, yeah.
But when you get into that's basically your general goal, as far as I know, right?
Is to what?
It's to just get stronger, be healthier.
Stronger, better, healthier, look better.
You're not competing in
confidence.
anything.
No, I ain't
No.
gonna get no fucking spray tan.
Exactly.
No.
So with someone like that, yeah, it's a lot easier for you to be lost
Yeah.
in exercises because that is such a vague specification of a goal, and there's not a problem with that, but kind of. So it comes down to what do we need to work on, and let's work on that. Yeah,
And-
let's not forget the important
and what's gonna help me
warm-ups
in the later exercise.
and yeah. So yeah, if you're pushing a lot, you're gonna want to work on your rotator cuffs as well.
Okay.
When you're going into deep squats, you're going to work on ankle mobility, knee mobility, hip mobility as well. You want to start off your exercises with that.
Let's start with a good example. So my job, I'm doing a lot of heavy lifting and moving big rocks and stones and boulders. What would be good accessories to increase those?
Fucking strongman. So strongman, like they'll lift stones.
Literally, I mean, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I could train in my field.
Yeah.
That's how, I mean,
Well,
there's this
think
guy
about
on
it.
TikTok that he's a farmer.
Yeah.
And he built his own gym out of the shit that he uses every day farming.
Yeah, because it makes sense.
It translates back onto the field.
Yeah. And now my job, I fucking sell weed all day. So I have to find something else to specify it around, right?
Like, yeah.
So jujitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not doing a whole lot of heavy lifting. I'm doing more of like the hypertrophy type of stuff, a lot of
Explosions.
calisthenics.
Yeah,
Whereas like me dealing with my own body, I think it's smarter to be able to control your own body, and obviously keeping my joints healthy, keeping my neck healthy, all that stuff. So yeah, training programs look different to every kind of athlete, and a lot of the times we kind of fall into this like, let's go look on the internet for exercises, instead of thinking like, all right, let's go look on the internet for exercises that could help me in a way that actually like helps me get closer to my own goal.
Yeah, because I would
And-
like to be well-rounded at my job. I want to be able to pick up 2 bags of concrete if I have to.
Yeah.
Which is 160 pounds, 80 on each shoulder, which I can
So
do,
yeah.
but it's fucking hard.
But so you might want to look into like more strongman type of exercises, like lifting stones.
Fuck it. We just go out into the
awkward-
forest and just run through the woods and find shit to fucking throw and
Yeah,
move.
And well, another thing is like,
Like forest
if you
parkour.
can't get to stones, like something something like it, something awkward, something heavy, there's workout equipment for this type of stuff. You can actually get sandbags as a cheaper alternative.
Yeah, they're 70 pounds.
So sandbags, similar to kettlebells, is a very like explosive swinging motion, and it can help in a lot of the same ways you're kind of wanting. Thank you for the grapes. But so that would be like a cheaper kind of alternative for you that might be actually really cool. Is investing in a sandbag.
Fuck it.
Yeah, and
I got 2 things of oil sitting in my truck.
and so yeah, basically, my point is, when you're designing a program for yourself, design it with the intent of, what am I trying to get better at? What are my goals here? And does this exercise really fit into my program? And will it help me?
Yeah. With that in mind, I think I really need to just focus on just strength. I mean, do hypertrophy when I need to, but I really just need to be strong
And so
and mobile.
this is kind of a point about like working in a commercial gym, but sorry to make it about me, but
Very good.
this was something I hated about working in a commercial gym, is because I needed about 20 clients at least to stay afloat, right? To make like an okay living as a personal trainer there, because where I worked, not going to say the company name just in case there's a lawsuit, right?
It rhymes with Jen.
Yeah. It rhymes with Genesis.
I'll believe it.
They would take, like, you get about 20 to 40% of what you sell depending on your level. The more you level up, the more you make, and the higher your price is to people wanting to buy your training. So I got to the point to where I was like level 3 because I sold so much training, right? And so now I'm like $70 a session. Well, I needed, just to make 35 off of each session, I needed so many clients during the day. So basically I was working from like sun up to sundown with people, just trying to make an okay living, and I wasn't able to fully like delve into each and every one of their programs the way I wanted to.
You're just too spread out.
No, you're burnt out.
Burnt out.
You can't do it. You cannot do it. And it's so fucking sad to see like a lot of personal trainers kind of get into that like state where like they know subconsciously like I could be helping this person a little bit more, but I had 5 minutes before this session to plan out this workout.
Oh.
And that is...
Yeah, my mom, she does her plans right before she leaves.
But yeah, that's the life of like a Lifetime, Genesis, like all of these big commercial gym like personal trainers, is because they don't make what they sell.
Yeah.
They don't.
If they did, they wouldn't be working there.
Well, you would almost never see them. You would see them like 4 hours out of the day at the gym.
Yeah.
And then the other 2, they're there for themselves.
Yeah.
That's what it needs to be. But instead, we have like these money-hungry corporate entities that like basically employ you because it's like, what else are you going to do? Where else are you going to go? Kind of thing. Where it's like, yeah, I could go risk it all and start a studio.
Right.
And make more money. But yeah, no, it kind of sucks. So where like I would eventually like to get back into training clients one-on-one, but it would have to be at my place,
on your own time. Yeah.
on my own time, and
Yeah.
I do eventually want to build a gym on my property,
Yeah.
and I would like to get back into it, but I would only have like a max load of 10 clients.
We're gonna
and
make
that's
you the next Bradley Martin.
probably not. I don't really want to become a fitness celebrity per se.
Well, yeah, take the celebrity out of there, but I mean, we'll get you a gym, your own.
Celebrity out of there. That's fine.
We'll just make you a fitness.
Yeah, I'm just fitness.
Dude Life Fitness. Dude.
But yeah, I would like to.
Sponsored by Dude.
And if I would get into it, obviously I would take the responsibility of recertifying, getting multiple certifications,
Right.
getting myself like back to a level of like I can sell this to people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I currently will say I'm not in a position to where I would feel comfortable taking on clients.
Right. You got to have good separation of time and play and work.
Well, and like knowledge.
yeah.
Like I would say, yeah, for like an average person, I know
Yeah,
quite
like
a bit
me.
about
You
this.
could train me.
Yeah, I could train you.
Some basic.
I could train, a lot of people, but I would have to refresh on a lot of terms, a lot of
Right.
anatomy, and a lot of stuff before I like felt comfortable and felt responsible enough
yeah.
to go back into it. But I appreciate all those questions, though. That was fun.
I think that's all I got when it has to do with fitness.
Yeah.
When it comes to like getting back into it and building it, it's similar like this podcast and with anything. People think that they don't have enough time. It's like, no, you've got time. Everyone
got
has
time.
I have 4 or 5 hours after work every day to be working on a career or a future hobby that could be paying money or something. It's like, it goes back to like my dad. He's bitching like, I want a train layout. I want to build a train layout. It's like, do it.
Mhm.
You're a man. You can go fucking rent a place, do it there, or make room at your house. Like, you just gotta do it. You gotta make the decision to do it.
You
Kinda
got to
like
get
this
creative
podcast.
too. You got to think outside of the box with these things.
Yeah.
Because obviously a lot of like ideas that come fresh to your mind, you're like, it's impossible.
Right.
But then you actually got to like write it down and be like, well, how could I make it possible? And you got to compromise on some things, of course, like on our level, like funds, right?
Yeah.
So, we got to compromise on that a little bit.
If you want something, you make it happen.
But yeah,
This podcast, we made it happen.
over time, the more we go, the more we do this, the more funds will be available, and the more we can invest into like funny videos and
I can't
scripts.
wait. I can't wait till Dude
I-
Life buys its first warehouse.
I so cannot wait. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be fucking awesome.
You've seen all those YouTube videos of the YouTubers, they have their studio, and then they buy their first warehouse, and they're like in their fucking paintball wars, blowing up shit. I'm like, that's gonna be Dude Life Studios.
Yeah, and I got lightsabers too, so like,
We're gonna have like a giant like truck bay door that opens up and everything. There's gonna be like half pipes and shit in there, foam pit,
yeah,
everything.
I will stay off the half pipes.
We're gonna have dirt bikes.
We're gonna have a mat
We're gonna have mats.
for jujitsu.
Dude, we're gonna have robotic
I'm not gonna teach it,
fighters.
But,
The robot fighters that'll fight you.
I don't want that
Like
actually.
robot dummies.
I don't know if I actually am on board with
Like a
those.
skin bag on wheels.
No,
Like with tracks.
I don't want to get beat up by a soulless creature.
We'll just
Robots don't have souls.
we'll forget AJ's flute.
We're gonna have a magic show.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Oh,
have
live
AJ
music.
making people disappear. Yeah. He's here, by the way.
Yeah, he's here by the
He's
way.
just completely in the topic we were just in.
Yeah, we've been talking Jim Bro for almost an hour.
Yeah, wow. Damn,
So-
you got me going, dude. Yeah, it's moments like this where I am just a chimpanzee. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh,
But all I want to say is
yeah.
thank you to everybody who joined this episode of
Oh.
Dude Life TV. Be sure to check out the Spotify on podcast.
Podcast on Spotify.
And check out the t-shirts. Link is down in the description. It's been a lot of fun this episode. Thank you for tagging along. My name is James,
My name is Grant.
I'm the mouse.
and we'll see you next time on Dude Life TV.
Deuces. Hey.